Hi everyone, Agnes here. Today I have got an interview with Joe, and Joe has got some wonderful dream job success stories to share with you. I read out her story not long ago. I will put the link down to her story in her own words in the description below. But for now, we're going to meet Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hi, Agnes. Hi, everybody.
Thank you for coming to share your story with us because it was such an interesting one. So, the topic,
Yeah.
well, firstly, you are in India
Yes, I
and
am.
you have had three dream job success stories where you've moved from one wonderful thing to another, more wonderful things. So, can
Yes.
you start your story back when you had the last job that perhaps you didn't like so much and you weren't earning as much money? Can you start back at that point and tell us what you were doing, as in manifesting law of attraction and all of that? What did you start with and what job did you have then?
Sure, Agnes. Okay. So first of all, I would like to say sorry because I did not come for this. I mean, I did not share my success story when I had my first job, because even that was a pivotal point in my life, in my career. Because let me go back to 2019 when I actually I just resigned from my job, the first job I had. And it was like that the situation was not really great. So the moment I resigned from my job, the COVID happened, and I was without the job for 2 long years till 2021. At that point of time, let's say that I was earning 9,000 or lakhs, or in our Indian currency, and what we use, so per annum, let's say. Okay. And for 2 long years, I was always worried. I was always, stressed for the fact that I will not be able to get job that easily, because first there is a gap, and second, maybe I'm out of knowledge, or maybe I do not have that which requires now in the market. Because of the COVID situation, I was worried because a lot of people were talking about that not many companies are hiring, and getting a job would not be that easy. And let me tell you that when I resigned from my first job, or it was not particularly first job, but I'm calling it the first job because I resigned, and this is where my dream job success story starts. So the situation was not very ideal when I resigned from that job because of some situation, which is another success story. And I have been applying law of attraction, law of assumption since 2015. Okay. But Agnes, let me tell you that your channel has been a pillar of support for me because of the authenticity, because of the realistic approach, because of how genuine everything is that you talk about. And the second thing, those interviews that you do on your channel, those are my lifeline. Those are the things that I always turn to whenever I'm stuck somewhere, or maybe when I'm so sorry, or whenever I think that I am not in the right mood. Okay, so now 2021 arrives, and I was I mean, for 2 long years I was maybe fearful, and that's the reason I always thought that I do not want to do a job. And my husband always said that, you know what, it's all right, you don't have to worry about it, you decide whether you want to do it or not. And whenever everybody asked whether I want to do a job now or not, and I told everybody that no, I do not want to do this, somewhere inside, as I mean, I was really, really scared. I thought that I will never get the job. And let me tell you that I'm a very dedicated and hardworking person. And I do not want to face the failure. But then what happened is one day, while I was talking to my husband, and we were discussing about some finances and situation, it was not something that difficult, but I don't know, I felt that maybe my husband is a little under pressure, and now maybe I want to do a job so that I can help him out, so that he doesn't have to feel that pressure, although he's not sharing that with me. He said everything is, in control, and this is what we want to do. This is where we want to travel. This is what we want to purchase. And I was calculating everything, that how he would manage. And that was the very time in the night when I just decided. So for everybody, I just want to mention one thing, that the moment you make a decision, that is where your manifestation journey for any particular thing starts. Because this has always been, the first step in my life. I've always seen, I've always experienced the decision that we make. And that the moment I made that decision, I was ready. I was ready to face the challenges. And Agnes, you won't believe, the moment I decided, I did not do anything. I did not put my resume on the job portal. I did not reach out to anybody. I just decided. And after 2 days, the calls started pouring in. And the first call I got, it was the company I had never heard of. Let's call this company L. Okay, so company L contacts their consult.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you, because I think this is a really interesting thing that you said.
Mm-hmm.
You made a decision, and then a few days later, people started contacting you. But were you on any job sites? Was this word of mouth? Like, how did people know that you were looking for a job at this point if you weren't on
Oh,
anything?
all right, sure, Anya. So in India, there is a very popular job portal called Naukri.com. In Hindi, it is called Job. Naukri is job. Okay, so Naukri.com means job.com. This is where everybody, most of the people, maybe 80 to 90% of Indians put their resume on. So this resume was on the portal, has always been on the portal, and I was updating it when I was working, but it was back in, maybe you can say, 2015 or 16. I never updated my resume. I think, yes, I did update my resume in 2017 when the nature of my job changed. Okay. So here, when you ask this question, it reminds me of another very important fact, that, I have been working since 2004. So by 2019, I had almost, I would say about 13, 14 years of experience, maybe. No, I think 12, 13 years of experience. Sorry, I'm not calculating right now, whatever it is, but it was more than 11 or 12. And throughout my career, my job profile had changed. So in 2016, when I joined my last project in the organization where I actually stayed for 10 long years, the job I had got to do was really, really interesting. And this is another, interesting manifestation story, that in 2014, or maybe 16, actually, I told my husband that, you know what, I do not want I do not want to do this kind of job. And I wanted to change my job profile. I want to change my job profile, something that gives me stability, that gives me recognition in my work. Like, no matter what I do, I will always be recognized. I want to be important in my job. And the third thing is that I want, what did I say? That okay, so this has always been my dream, that whatever I want, I am doing. I want to keep studying new things all the time. So this has always been one of the desires in my job, that I want to do a job where I get to talk to many people, whether I get to work with many people from different technologies, because I'm in IT, and different technologies, and I want to keep learning. All right. And I told my husband that this is exactly what I want. And in 2016, I changed my project in the same organization and I got a job that I was not made for. I was literally scared. I did not know how I would handle, but I did a great job. And uh, there I actually extracted my current job from that particular job role. I don't know whether I'm making sense or not. So this job in 2016 was of a very wide, what should I say, wide nature. Like it has varied nature in it. It had different roles in it, and I extracted one kind of job profile. I don't know why. I just did the certification in it and I kept struggling. I kept hustling that I want this job role. I did everything in my capacity. And there, because of some, work politics and some drama, I could not get that job. It was one of the many reasons why I left my organization of 10 long years. So, and there was one more desire in 2019 that cloud was booming, and cloud was one of the very desirable market for the people in IT, and I did not have any experience in it. And in when I made this decision that I want to do this job, the other day I was discussing with my husband the very next day. So I'm talking about 2021, when was talking to my husband, and in my mind I made that decision that I'm ready for that job. And the second day, next day, I'm telling my husband that wouldn't it be cool if I could get an opportunity to work in cloud? And my husband said, that would be awesome, but they do require, people who have knowledge in cloud, in cloud field. And, but yeah, anything can happen. And when I received this job, the first call from company L, that we are hiring and we are interested in your profile and in you, and this is what the job offer is. You won't believe, Agnes, the job profile or the nature of the job was exactly that I had extracted in 2016 while I was working for my last project. The environment was cloud, and I was going to be the lead in the cloud and infra department of that particular company. And it was like dream come true. Now the third thing was that when I left my job in 2019, let's say my salary was 9 lakhs per annum. Okay. And I always journal. Most of the times, you can say 90% of the times I journal every day, sometimes in the night, sometimes in the morning, and sometimes whenever I'm like, a lot of things are bugging me and a lot of things are coming in my mind and they are stressing me. So I would start writing down, and not like I'm fearful, I'm, because of this, and maybe I'm stressed, but I would write what exactly I want. Like if I'm fearful for whether my salary would be increased when I join the next job, so I would not write that, oh, I'm fearful that my salary might not get increased, or I might not get a hike when I join my next job because of the gap I have of two long years. So what I journaled in my diary is that my salary is so and so, and at that point of time, let's say my dream salary was 14 lakhs per annum. I really don't know. Okay, you won't believe, Agnes, that okay, so when I started getting interviewed, the job calls started pouring in. One company, two company, there were 5 companies I was interviewed for in 2 weeks, and I got through each and every interview. And in my journal, I had always mentioned they love my personality. The interviewers love my personality. They ask me very few questions from my field, and they talk to me and they just get impressed how confident I am. It's not like I'm incapable or incompatible. It's just that this is what I wanted, because I was a little bit nervous, because in 2 long years I was not, I was not interviewed. I lost the touch, and I was a little bit fearful, as I said. And in 2021, I also suffered from very severe health anxiety, and that I also got out of. That is another success story. At the same time, I, cured many diseases like thyroid, motion sickness, cervical, etc., with the work of, yoga, and with the work of law of attraction, law of assumption, journaling, visualizing, etc. But that is another, because that would be another long story. So anyways, I got through all the interviews, and there was another, in my list, there was another affirmation or desire that I had written, that I would have to choose which company I want to go to, which organization I want to go to. And I actually joined company L. And so my salary was, as I said, 14 lakhs per annum. It was 14 point something, let's say. And it was exactly what I had written in my journal. So till now, let me remind everybody that how I always manifest. I have seen, this is my epiphany, or you can say this is my realization, that whenever I decide, single-minded decision, it doesn't have any ifs and buts in it. It starts rolling in. I start seeing the changes in my environment, in my 3D, within 2 to 3 days. Okay. And then I journal, I make list, I visualize sometimes, and and I meditate often, because I'm a yoga practitioner. I'm also a yoga teacher. So I meditate often, and I think that gives me a little bit of clarity, like what I want. And I think I know how it works. And again, whenever I get confused, I always look for examples, look for inspirations and motivations on your channel. And on some other channels, sometimes I, just in YouTube search, I just type in, and whatever comes in front of me, whatever attracts me energetically, I just click on it and I just go through it, and there is some kind of sign or response to my questions. So anyways, so I joined this company, and I was really, really happy. In 2023, I was like really settling in, and I had learned my lesson in the last organization, that giving your giving your all the dedications, one pointed focus to your work, to the organization, will not help. And you should keep changing till the time you can keep changing, your company, to learn more, to earn better. So in 2023, I was just, I was, so there is another thing, that when I joined company L, my designation was good, like I really liked it, but I wanted to change into a lead position. Okay. And it changed into a lead position, but there was a job switch within the project in company L, that my designation changed to a coordinator. Okay. So I always wanted that, because I have a good experience, I have good skills and everything. So I wanted that, what, on the papers, this coordinator word would not look good. It should be at least lead. But I did not know how it would happen. It's just that I just listed it, that my job title is this. It contains lead in it. And I remember that in 2023, December, I made a decision that, I think it was January first week of 2024. And I decided that I think I'm ready to change, because my work is getting a little bit monotonous. I have been doing the same thing and I want to learn more. I think within a week, I got a call. Again, I did not make any changes in my in my resume. I did not update anywhere. It was I think, yes, within a week, I got the call from, let's say, company A. And company called me and they said that we are, the interview started rolling, and the interview was good, and I was offered the job. So in from 2021 till 2024 January, I had, listed a couple of, I had made a list for my job, what job my job should be, and what it should be called, and etc. etc. So I decided that my salary should be, let's say my salary should be uh, 34 lakhs per annum. Okay. And while I left okay, so before that, in company N, as I said, I keep journaling, I keep making lists. So I always made a list, um, and in those lists I always specified what my salary would be, because salary is something which is most of the times which is specific. You receive the salary, you get that, those messages that it is getting credited, so you can visualize better. Because whenever I list a lot of things like my peers are really helpful, my boss is really helpful, very cooperative, but you do not know, like, what that person would be, and a lot of questions starts coming in the mind, like who that person would be, what would be his nature or her nature, etc. So salary is something that always gave me a very specific visualization, idea, that this is you are going to visualize. So within company L, I had made a list that my salary is going to be 18 lakhs per annum, because from 14, the jump of 18 within 3 years was, I mean, it cannot be imagined. Okay, at least I could not imagine that I could get that hike. You won't believe that when I left the company L, my salary was actually 18 plus. Okay. And now when I made the list, my salary was 18, and I had made the list, among everything, like whatever I wanted in my next job, that my salary was be 34 lakhs per annum. How did I come to this number? That one of my friends was earning 32 lakhs per annum, and I could not imagine, like, oh wow, that's nice, I did not know that, this was your salary. And it was very natural and organic talks between two friends, and I was not aware of the salary. And I was like, in my mind I thought that, okay, this is a nice figure, so my next salary should be this, or maybe let's add 2 more lakhs in it. Okay. And when I was offered the job by the company A, my salary was exactly 34 lakhs per annum. They offered me something else, but I refused. I said, I actually rejected that offer. I said, no, if my salary is not this. And trust me, Agnes, I was not in this mood that, I'm going to leave my current job, because I really loved my current job. Although it was monotonous, it was giving me a lot to learn. So after a week, company A came with the salary I had always desired, or maybe you can say whatever I had listed. In between this time, I was interviewed by the client as well. It was 2 hours long interview. And that too, I manifested exactly the way I had imagined. So I was a little bit freaking out that there is an interview with the client. I'm not sure what they're going to ask, etc., etc. So I started, affirming that my interview with client went really well. They loved my personality. They talked to me. They loved what I'm doing here, and they appreciate my job, whatever I've been doing here, etc., etc. So here is one more point. When I applied for this job, not applied, sorry, I did not apply. So when I started thinking about this new job, my I was promoted in January 2024 first week to become a lead. Okay. So as I said, in company L, my designation was of a coordinator. When I wanted to leave the job, I wanted to join another job, a new job, when my designation was a lead in January. Without knowing that my designation is going to change in a week, I made the decision that now I'm ready to go to a new job. And within a week, my designation changed. And in that particular week, the day I received on the very day I got the call from the company A that we want to hire you, we want to go for the interview. So my all manifestations came true, whatever it was. And then the salary they offered, it was also what I always wanted. So after I rejected the offer that I do not want to take this salary because this was very low, and etc. etc. I had already been interviewed by the client. So what I did is I got into this zone that now I have to leave this job. I wanted the change. And I had already rejected the offer from company A because the salary was something which I was not ready for. In between this time, my husband always said that don't worry, they will come back. But I did not know, because for this particular company, let alone coming back, even an offer letter is a big thing, because they do not release offer letter easily. So my ego says they are not going to come back, but my manifestation self, the self that manifests is saying that, you know what, they are going to come back. You have to think, you have to, just think of the reasons why they are going to come back. So what I started affirming, that client loved me, they want only me. And they did come after a week, and they said that, you know what, we are ready to give you this salary, and this is your new offer. And let me tell you that client really loved you. We had selected one more candidate, but they're not ready to. So please, Joe, and they literally said this to me. They said, please, Joe, you have to join. Okay. You tell me what else you want. So there was one more condition for this particular job with A, that I did not want my job to be in particular city. So let me tell you that I'm in New Delhi, and in New Delhi comes with different regions from different states, which are, how to say it, these locations are adjacent to New Delhi. They are ideally the part of this capital, okay, our New Delhi capital. So I wanted this place, Noida, and they gave me Gurugram. So people who are in India, they can relate with it. So they said that, you know what, Gurugram is basically 2.5 years far from me, and Noida is very close to me. So I wanted that my job location should be Noida. And I told them from the day one, those people in A organization, that, you know what, the Gurugram is not practical for me. It is going to be, very tiresome for me. So please change my work location. They said it will be changed. You do one thing, you just join, and we are going to change the location. And I joined, but they did not change my location. Okay. I don't know, maybe, I don't know why it did not work, but I kept making lists. I kept affirming everything, that, that I'm getting to work from home till the time my cabs are not aligned, because organizations do give cab services. And my boss said yes to everything without saying a yes. So he showed that, you know what, this particular ask that you have is a little bit difficult for me, but he did that anyway. So I would say that whatever I wanted happened, but not the way I had imagined, or not that smoothly. So it made me feel that my experience with this particular boss is going to be a little bit difficult for me, because I'm always going to be made feel that, whatever you are asking is difficult for me, but let me just think about it, let me come to you about it. And I did not want to be in that situation. I could have manifested that my job, my work, sorry, my boss has changed everything, but I was not in that mood. And I started making a list again, that my job location is Noida, this particular place, and this is not my job profile. And at the same time, I added that my salary is 40 lakhs per annum. I really don't know why, because, it just gave me, as I said, it gave me a very clear picture of what I wanted to visualize. Okay, I did not want to, think about a lot of humans, what their nature would be, what the organization would be, etc. I just made a list. I forgot about it. And whenever I had to visualize, I used to visualize that I'm working from home, and my salary is this. This is my salary has been credited, and this is the amount. So when I say 14 lakhs per annum, yes, I used to divide by 12 so that I could see that what my salary would be. And this is exactly what I used to imagine. And you won't believe, Agnes, that within a month, okay, so there are so many stories, manifestation stories. So here is another thing. So my husband, where he works, he always wanted me to work in his organization because it is a wonderful product-based company. It is very employee-friendly, very, very considerate about its employees. They have well-being offs, they have wellness offs, they have, they are given a certain, amount for their wellness related expenditures, like you want to go for a meditation retreat, yoga retreat, you have this amount you spend on whatever, and this is a good amount. Okay, so my husband said, you know what, Joe, you are going to love it, so I really want you to come in this organization. But his company, his organization is mostly, it is based on developers. Like a lot of developers work there, a lot of architects work there. My job was not there, and he has been there for 4 long years. And in all these years, he kept looking for my job title, my job keywords. It never reflected. He talked to multiple people, his bosses, that my wife is working on this profile. Whenever you have this profile, you just let me know, because I want her to be in this organization. And his bosses said, unfortunately, this kind of work has been given to another organization. It has been outsourced, and another company is working on it, which is a service based company, which is not a product based company. So unfortunately, we don't have anything. But this time, when I was working with A, and I was so desperate for something to change so that my location changes, Agnes, because it used to take me 6+ hours to go and to come back to home. Like for a 9 hours job, I was on road for 7 hours. It really made me, it tired me so much. I was getting stressed. Yes, I could have changed that situation by imagining, by visualizing, but I knew that this is going to take at least some time. I do not want to rush myself into manifesting something. So I did not want to touch that area which was actually bugging me. I wanted to think about something else. So, I have followed Abraham Hicks in 2016 and 17. And one thing always, stuck with me, that I don't know whether I'm going to say it right, but her way of saying this was that, when something is not working or when something is difficult for you, just look for mm, something which is a little bit nicer for you. And yes, maybe you can remind me. She wanted to say that, if give it a window, give it a window of uh, how did she say? And I always remember this in this interview. I'm forgetting it. So Abraham Hicks wanted to say that whatever is bugging you, do not go for that. Reach out for something that makes you feel better. So because the traveling was making me feel really, tired and stressed, I did not want to manifest anything related to that. I just wanted to manifest that I'm working in the Noida location. I'm working from home without being made feel that, it is too much for my boss. Okay. My boss is doing any kind of, how to say, uh, mm, I don't know. I'm forgetting the word. So I did not want. I did not want to feel that my boss is doing something very big for me, so that I can work comfortably. I did not want to feel that. So I just started imagining that I'm working in Noida location. My boss is really nice. I did not know what my boss looked like. So what happened is that one day I was sitting and I just told my husband that my husband said that, you know what, I can see on your face that you are getting really stressed. Please do not do that, because you will go back to that, anxiety, those phases of anxiety when you were suffering from anxiety, because it shows on your face. Just take it easy. And I said, yeah, but you know what? I really want my job to be easy. I do not want to think about my traveling time. I do not want to think about anything. I want to enjoy my work. And this work is also not that good. Okay. Because Agnes, this work was all this work had a great profile name, but the work was not that good. Okay, it was like very subpar. It was uh, it was an employee augmentation role. Okay, it was just a filler in the organization in that particular project. And I knew that these kinds of role do not have a great future. Whenever client wants, they quickly just take it out of the project. They just dissolve the profile, they just dissolve the position, and then the employee has to look for another option. So I said that, you know what, there is nothing that is actually making me feel like I want to work for this role, for this position, etc. But the company is great. Let me remind everybody that company is absolutely amazing. It is one of the dream companies for many people. So I just made the list and I said, okay, whatever. And my husband, while he was talking to me, he said, okay, let me just give another shot. Let me just see on the job portal in my company. He started looking at it. He could not find anything. One of the keywords he used, and this keyword actually appeared in one of the job profiles. The name of the job profile was completely different. He said, Joe, see, I have found something. It just has one word in the two long pages of the profile description. Just see whether it is something related to you, or you can at least make it work. And I looked at it. The profile name was completely different. And I went through the job description, and I said, you know what, the description of the work sounds like it is my work, but the profile name and the requirements are completely different. So I really don't know. So my husband said, this job profile has been submitted on the job portal by somebody who I have worked with. And I know him. He's a great person. He's also in London, by the way, Agnes, my boss, who is going to be my boss. So he said, let me just reach out to him. And he reached out to him on the message, and he said that, hi, I mean, my wife wants to apply for it, but this is her job profile, this is her resume, and let me know if there could be something for her. And he said, you know what, unfortunately, this is an internal job opportunity, and let's see, in 2 weeks, if we do not find any person internally in the organization, we are going to put it out for external candidates. After 2 weeks, not after 2 weeks, in fact, after just after a week, this job profile was made available for external candidates, and my husband was intimated by he got informed by this person who is in London. And he said, now it is external. If your wife is still interested, ask her to apply for it. And I just applied. I did not know anything about it. I was so desperate to come out of that location that, that I just applied for it. And the location here too was Gurugram, which is again the same place where I wanted to come out from. But my husband said, you know what, my organization is very, very flexible, so don't worry about it. We can, if everything works out, maybe we can work out. And I said, okay, let's go ahead. And everything was happening so fast that I was always getting this nudge that, maybe this is for me. Maybe this is for me. Maybe, Joe, this job opportunity has come in front of you because, this is made for you. universe is sending you, etc., etc. I kept telling myself internally, I'm not sharing anything with my husband. I'm very chill in front of him. I said, okay, okay, fine, that's fine. I've applied. Let's see what happens. But internally, I'm telling myself, this job is for you. Everything is going to change, etc. I'm the only person who is going to get interviewed, etc., etc. So and the very next day, I get a call from the HR. They schedule my interview with this person who is in London, and he he interviews me. And all he does, he just asks me why I want to leave my current job so early. It's just been a month, and I told him very, very honestly, because I never lie in my job interviews, never about anything. I told him directly, this is my reason, and this is because it is very tiring. I want to do my job without any stress, which is not related to my job, and traveling is definitely not related to the work I would be doing there. So I'm looking for a change. He said, okay, there was one more thing. He told my husband, when my husband told him that she wants to leave this company in a month because of this reason, the location. And but the location in your job profile, for your job profile, is Gurugram. Can we change it to Noida? And he said, uh, for the right candidate, location is not a problem for me. And he interviewed me, and he said, you know what, Joe, the interviewer, he said, I told him that, this is the reason why I want to leave this company. And he said, don't worry. If everything goes well, location is not a problem for me, and it is going to change for you. I said, okay, that's fine. He interviewed me, and usually interviewers do not tell anything on the call that, we have hired you or we are interested in you, etc. They just said, okay, we'll get back to you, something like that. But on the call itself, because I had listed that I will get my results on the interview on the same day, he said to me that, you know what, from my side, you are selected. I'm going to put your resume forward, and you are going to have an interview with my manager now. And this person, and I was like, okay, good. And I told my husband that this is what has happened. And he said, of course, he was happy. But we were a little bit nervous that, that his manager is going to interview me. My husband was very confident. He said, you know what, they are going to love you. Don't worry. But again, I was a little bit nervous because, this nervousness was of the fact that I'm almost on the verge of going out of organization A and joining something which might be very promising for me, and something which I would love. What if I do not get it? The ego mind that always scares you, makes you fearful about something. But then I started, so what I did is I searched this person, my manager's manager, on LinkedIn. I looked at her photograph, and I did this meditation that you do, that send your heart energy, love to this person. I did that. And I do not do that meditation often, but I do that meditation. I'm priority, I'm first best quite often. And I remember each and every affirmation. So sometimes I just do it during my meditation. I just repeat it. I'm first best, I'm priority, everything. Okay. So I did that, and I started affirming that this person will not interview me at all. She will just talk to me. She would love me immediately, and etc., etc. And this was the first time that I listed and I affirmed that this person is going to relate with me. This person is going to fall in love with me. She would compliment me on my smile, etc., etc. I do not know. I was just blabbering in my list. I was just blabbering in my affirmation. I just wanted to feel good, and I do not want to think about that, oh my God, what this interview is going to be all about. And when the interview happened, the moment we switched our videos on, and she immediately complimented on my smile, and she said, Joe, you have lovely warm smile, I feel welcomed. And I told her the same thing. And because she was also like, she was smiling every time. She was very friendly. She made me feel really comfortable. And she also asked me one simple question, that why I wanted to change this company so soon. I gave her the reason, and she said, okay, that's fine. And let me tell you that this person who interviewed you first, he really loved you. We are really interested. But she gave me an idea that we are interviewing more people. So when she ended the call, okay, so our HR would get back to you, and we have to interview more people. And I don't know why, I always affirmed, since I applied for this job, I am the only person getting interviewed for this role. And the moment I disconnected, I had a call from HR, and this HR became very friendly with me. Whenever we talked, he was very friendly with me. But he also gave me an idea, you know what? Uh, there have been thousands of applicants. So we have brought it down from the site, because I was not able to find the job description on the site. So I was just wondering that why they just took it down, because I'm not still through this interview. I mean, I knew that there would be more people be getting interviewed, but I don't know. I always affirmed that I'm the only person. So I was very, very confident that I'm the only person be getting interviewed. And in that case, they should not, take the job profile and this ad down from their site. So when he said to me, I got a little bit disheartened. I said, okay, there are more competitors, etc., etc. But I kept affirming, I kept visualizing that I'm getting an offer letter from this particular company. And whatever I could visualize, whatever could make me feel better. And I got the offer. I mean, if at every step I have manifested everything, so there are so many stories. But I got the offer letter exactly how I imagined. I got the call when because I had made a list, like at what time I'm getting the call, at what time, what this person would tell me, etc., etc. And most of the things, like 60% of the things, happened exactly the way it had to be. It had to. And then the HR told me, you know what, Joel, let me tell you something. Okay, let me confess something. You're the only person who was interviewed, and client immediately loved you. And they said, okay, you know what? We do not want to interview anybody else. We do not want to spend time and money and efforts. Let's just hire this person, because we trust that she is going to join this company. And this is exactly what happened. So I know I have spoken a lot, but this is the story. This is still the 60% of my manifestation story that happened. But as I said, at every step, I have learned that first I make a decision. Second, I make a list. Third, I try to extract something out of that list, whatever I could imagine, very clearly. And it is not going to make me feel that it is out of the world or something. And plus, whenever I have doubts, I affirm. This is how I actually manifest. This is my manifestation process. And let me tell you all that my salary is now, let's say, as I said, that if I imagine that my salary is 40 lakhs per annum, my salary is exactly 40 lakhs per annum. So what I imagined, I manifested, and this has been this was my journey in order to manifest these jobs. And let me tell you all the very, very important, which I always followed. I always, if I'm doing the dishes, I'm listening to this interview that Agnes had with Ildiko. Oh my God. Ildiko's energy, what Ildiko did, how she manifested, is like, for me, it is exactly how we all must manifest. That her energy, her smile, her laughter, the way you both talk to each other, how friendly, and how she manifested, how she made a list, how she kept editing that list, modifying the list. That, she said, I kept modifying my list as I passed my days. She was living with her parents, how she, felt, and how those job offers started pouring in for her. Not jobs, but the one job that she got and she really loved, with through her friend or through her old colleague. I have listened to this interview, listened to, not watched, because sometimes I just put it on. I just started the video, and then I kept it in my pocket, and I kept doing the dishes, and I kept listening to her and you both talking. So this is one of the most important and important things I did, and I would still keep doing. Agnes, never take down this video. It is my go-to. So yeah. So I talk too much. Yeah.
No, you don't talk too much. I didn't say anything because you were really, describing and going into it. And this is what people need to hear, is the process. And I like that you
Yeah.
really did that a little bit at the end, where you said, this is my manifesting process and this is what I've done each time. And so let me ask you, how long have you been at your husband's company now?
I'm about to join. My
Oh,
first
you're
day is
about
on Monday. Yes.
on
Yes.
Monday. Wow.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so exciting. Oh, that's
Right.
so great. That's so great.
And
I
this
will.
time,
Yeah, go ahead.
and this time, I did not want to delay or procrastinate in writing my success story to you, because
Mm,
my first, and I forgot to tell everybody that visualizing and imagining that I am, getting interviewed by Agnes for my dream job success story was one of my very, very important scenes. If
mm,
I was ever confused, even if you create those, perfect scenes, and you get used to, even then doubts do creep up, and you again
yeah.
get confused whether I'm doing everything right, whether that scene is right. Sometimes your ego would start playing. At that point of time, going to the scene where I'm getting interviewed and I'm telling you everything about my success story was something that was very, very crisp for me, very, very clear. That, okay, in this success story, I do not have to imagine anything about anything. I just have to imagine Agnes. I'm talking about my success story. That's all.
Mm,
I did not give
yeah.
any detail. So
Yeah.
this was one of my scenes, and that's the reason I quickly, as soon as I got through this offer, I wrote this success story to you. That,
Mm,
I do not want to delay at all. I want to tell everybody.
yeah. And it's good to talk about it when you're right in the amazing emotion of, I've just got the news, I'm about to start, and I'm in the excitement and the joy of it. So
Yeah.
thank you, Joe. That is
Thank
just,
you.
it's
Thank you,
really wonderful.
Agnes.
Because at every point you were going up, it was getting better, it was getting better. It was, there were better things in each job. And then, then it was like, okay, this traveling in the distance. I mean, it sounds like
Mm-hmm.
with the job that was a long way away, they said,
Mm-hmm.
oh, just join and then we'll change the location. But once you were in, then they got, it was like, oh, well, we've got her now. And they, whether they were procrastinating or whatever, for whatever reason, they didn't change the
Yeah.
location, and then it made it
Yeah.
hard on you. But if they
Yeah.
hadn't done that, you wouldn't have gone for this one. If the job was,
Yes.
if you had been relocated, and you wouldn't have taken the next step up if they had
Yes.
met all your needs. So in the end, it's in a way a blessing that they didn't, because you got an even better opportunity by being unhappy with the travel and the distance. It made you look
Correct.
ahead again.
Yes.
So wonderful, Joe. And so many, it's a simple thing writing a journal. It's a simple thing getting clarity. It's a simple thing saying, okay, this is the way I'd like it to be. I mean, God, source, the universe loves clarity. If we're clear, then it can deliver. But if we're wishy-washy and not clear, it doesn't know what
Yes.
to deliver. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love your simple practice. And
Thank you, Agnes. This approach has always worked for me. I don't wait for something to become so difficult for me that I get
mm,
absolutely almost desperate about
Yes.
something, because I know whenever I have got desperate about anything, that particular thing has always gone away from me. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the distance kept increasing, the gap kept increasing, because I was so desperate about it. So I have learned
Yeah.
it hard way, that I
Yeah.
don't have to go into that direction. Just as
Mm.
I said, I always remember that part of Abraham, that if something is difficult, don't worry
Mm.
about that, leave it alone, go for
Yeah.
something which feels nicer.
That's it.
And
That's it.
yeah, so this is what I
Mm.
wanted to do, and this is what I keep doing. So I do not want something to become so difficult for me that I get desperate. I
Mm.
just change my track. I just
That's
changed the
it.
path.
Yeah. Because the
Yeah.
desperation is really negative energy, and that
Yeah.
then puts a handbrake on the next thing coming in. So yes, I do love that about Abraham Hicks. She always said, if there's 9 things going wrong and 1 thing going right, focus on the 1 thing that's going right, and then
Correct.
it will increase the things that are going right. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
practice, because it's so naturally easy to focus on the thing that's going wrong. So that's
Yeah.
wonderful. I think your story is going to be a real breath of fresh air for a lot of people, whether they are
I
in
hope
your
so.
country, yeah, whether
Yeah.
in India or anywhere else in the world. So
Yeah.
it's like Ildiko's story helped you. Now your story will move forward and help someone else.
I really hope so, Agnes, because job is something that I have seen. I have been there, and I've seen a lot of people feeling very desperate, very. They just go into that hard patch or a rough patch of life where they don't have job, but they want to change job, and they are
Yeah,
always in the doubt whether they are
yeah.
going to love their job, whether they are going to get the salary they are expecting, etc., etc., and it becomes really difficult.
Yeah.
And everything depends on it. No matter how much we say that we know how to manifest, everything is easy, everything is everything depends on our thoughts. But wherever finances
Mm.
come in the picture, things become so difficult that
Yes,
everything becomes difficult when your finances are in a difficult situation or position. And
absolutely.
so I
Yeah.
thought that maybe my story could help some people, at least give some clarity. I'm not saying that my story would give them 100% clarity or 90% clarity, but at least they would get 10% clarity where they are
Mm.
stuck.
Yeah,
So that's the
that's
reason I
it.
wanted to share. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I think this is going to be a wonderful addition to the Dream Job Success Stories
Thank
playlist.
you, Agnes.
Yes, and I will put that down below for those that are just jumping in and don't know that it exists.
Mhm.
And thank you so much, Joe. Do you want to say anything, final last words before we say goodbye in private?
Sure. So I would say only one thing to everybody, that if you are in doubt whether these things work or not, let me tell you that I'm somebody who learned about law of attraction in 2015, because I was like everybody. I was going through a rough patch. I prayed to God that give me some clarity. I want to take control of my life, of things which are happening to me. And I came across the secret book while going to office, in the cab, when somebody was reading, and they said, and I did not know anything about it, and I started reading and learned about the law of attraction.
Mm.
And then when I did not have I had some confusions related to law of attraction, like, I'm doing everything, but this thing is not working. I'm doing everything, I meditated, I'm
Mm.
happy, I'm putting this happy face on, but even then things are not working. What is wrong? Where am I missing? Then Neville Goddard came in the picture. That was year 2016. So whatever the missing pieces were, Neville Goddard was able to you know provide those
Mm.
pieces, and my picture was complete. Now I think I know that uh, what manifestation should look like. Manifestation is really the truth. It definitely happens. Your thoughts, your imagination, your visualization, and your belief create your world. it brings thing, it manifests or it attracts things in your world. And so these things work if anybody is in doubt. And people like you, Agnes, are like, angels who exist to give us more clarity when we are still in doubt, because we are humans. We will always be in doubt. We will always have questions, and we would always have, confusions. So
Yeah.
I think, so one thing I would like to add, that, when you are, whenever, suppose law of attraction, law of assumption, you follow Agnes, you follow other, coaches or other people for your clarity, you are still in doubt. But when you're sitting, or when you are doing something, or something just pops in your mind, or when you are watching TV or listening to a song, and something feels like it is speaking to you, this is giving you the answer you're looking for, please believe in it. This is the highest power, whatever you call it God, you call it angels, you call it your spirit guides, whatever you call it, those energies are giving you the response you are looking for. Please hold on to it. I promise you that if you choose that path, whatever answers, whatever you comprehend from that sign, you keep going on that path and you will not fail. And yes, I believe in science as well. I know that in law of attraction, people say that signs are something that you look for. But trust me, Agnes, a lot of times I have received the signs when I have not asked for.
Yes.
And I never asked for signs. And I watch something on the TV or something, and like, it will be completely unrelated. Like, yeah, so I was saying that I also believe in science, and whenever you listen to something, hear something, read something, or something pops up in your head again and again, please believe in it. Whatever you believe in yourself. You think you are God. You think there is a God outside. Some angels are following you. There are spirit guides. Whatever you believe in, your higher self, just know that those people, those energies are giving you this confirmation, or this assurance that things are about to happen. And there are many examples, but I'll give you two examples. Like, when in 2019, when my job was about to end, and I was really, really stressed, Agnes, at that point of time. And I kept getting this advertisement ad on the TV, and its punchline was "hard stop ahead," something like that. Hard stop ahead. And whenever it came in my mind, I always felt that my job is about to end. My, but I was not at all, in that phase that I'm about to resign or something. But something was telling me, and there was another line that followed hard stop ahead in that ad, that prepare for the new beginnings. Okay, hard stop ahead, prepare for the new beginnings. And it always felt like it is speaking to me. There is something related to my job, and trust me that this is exactly what happened. And I did not want it. I did not prepare for it. I still remember there was another thing that I always remember. I was manifesting something. I used to visualize and imagine, and suddenly that this big hoarding started coming in my on my way all the time whenever I was on road, and it says, "A dream is about to realize." And whenever it used to come, "A dream is about to realize," only one thing popped in my. I was manifesting multiple things, but there was one thing which started coming in my mind. Something. This is something related to that. And trust me, within a week, I think no, within 10 days, that actually manifested exactly the way I had visualized. So what I want to say, that if there is something happening which you cannot explain with your rational mind, but you still feel that this is for you, this is related to you, trust in it, and have good faith, have a good positive mindset, and it will be a cakewalk, I would say. Also, there, it's a fact, not could be, it could be my limitation, that you, the fact that I am not that great in some areas of my life. I'm still learning. Okay, there could be some limitations for me. Maybe job is good. Job is, getting a job is something that is easy for me. Money is easy for me. Anything else in my life is easy for me. But there could be one area of my life where I'm not that great, or maybe I'm not able to manifest the way I can. But this is my limitations. I know what are those limitations, and I have to work on that. I have that clarity. So if for everybody, if you're manifesting 5 different things from 5 different fields, maybe you are great in 3 and you're not that great in 2. So all you have to do is find out the limitations, why you are not getting success in those areas, and then work on it. How I would work, like maybe people have questioned that, Joe, how would you approach where you are not that great in manifestation or in manifesting those areas? What I do personally, and I see success while doing that, is that I make a list what kind of fears I have, what all limits I have, and then I just write its completely opposite and positive things, positive statements. And I keep affirming. And I know, because those areas are difficult for me, I just pick 1 or 2 out of 100 limitations, and I just keep repeating it. I just keep repeating it. And I easily get out of that zone, and I see the changes uh, in those areas as well. Okay. So, in a nutshell, believe in the science. Please follow whatever process you believe in, you have faith in, and then believe in the science you get any. And the second thing, do not lose heart if you're not that great in some areas. All you have to do is find your limitations, find what kind of belief system you have, and then change that to make it positive. That's all I wanted to say in the end.
Wonderful. That's good.
Thank
Because
you.
signs are really what get you through sometimes, whether you ask
Yes.
for them or whether you don't. It really helps give relief. So
Yeah.
wonderful, Joe. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the wonderful progression of Joe's journey from one job to the next and just improving as she went along. And I will put down anything that is relevant to what Joe mentioned down below. And I will also be seeing you in another interview and in another YouTube. Joe, you stay on. We will say goodbye in
Sure.
private. Bye,
All
everyone.
right.
And
Bye,
we will,
everybody.
yes. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Agnes. Thanks, everyone.